Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our third episode of Coffee and Chat. So for those of you new to the group, Coffee and Chat is a weekly segment where I interview an inspiring woman who inspires other women. And today I'm really excited to introduce Moana Robinson from Be Styled for Life. And Moana is actually a Kiwi, but she's lived in Australia for several years. And she has a pretty impressive resume. So she is a qualified life coach. She's a personal stylist, a beauty therapist, an image consultant, a hypnotherapist, and a master neuro-linguistic programming practitioner. Have I got all that right, Moana?
Yes, and also an MBIT coach and passion and purpose coach.
Fantastic. Wow, that is very impressive. So Moana and I have never actually met in person. We have met virtually a few times because we are both part of a author mentoring group in Australia, and Moana is actually currently writing her second book, which I'm sure she can tell you about, called Teddy's Revenge. And the first book was called
Be Styled for Life, Living with Sass and Style Over 50.
Living with Sass and Style Over 50, that's right. Yeah. That's fantastic. So welcome, Moana. Thank you so much for agreeing to come on here and being interviewed today.
Thanks so much. I really appreciate this, and I think it's fun because we can chat virtually and get to know each other. I feel like I know you already anyway.
Yeah. Well, Moana actually used to live in Papamoa, just over the bridge from Tauranga. So we probably were neighbours once upon a time.
Yeah.
Okay, so perhaps just we'll get started by if you just tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Yeah, sure. I lived in New Zealand. I was born in New Zealand and came out to Australia 35 years ago, and we had our second daughter out here. So we had one daughter that was born in New Zealand. And I used to be a legal secretary, used to work for a law firm. And then I worked with my husband. We had a startup family business in hydraulics. After that, I did a beauty therapy diploma and also worked for an international skincare company. And then I decided to do image consulting, which I really, really love. And I combined the beauty therapy that I also did comes in handy, but the image consulting and the life coaching are the two that really join together, and I call it styling from the inside out. Yeah, so I was recommended to do a life coaching course just to formalize what I did with my image consulting clients, because I found a lot of them sort of really wanted someone to talk to. And I was doing a video course on my website, and the guy that was helping me with my video course suggested I do a life coaching course as well. So I did that, loved it so much that I did the whole diploma, and then I did the advanced diploma and my master's in hypnotherapy and NLP and other courses, and all the while keeping up with the image consulting.
Yeah. So what was sort of the turning point for you when you went from working in the law firm to then changing direction?
When I worked in the law firm and also the family business, it was doing what I had been trained to do. Like, I trained to be a secretary back in the days when you went to secretarial college. Vowed I'd never be a secretary, but then my first job was as a legal secretary. But then I got married, had children, and you kind of do what you need to do to bring in the income, so I always worked full time apart from a couple of years. And I just found that it was just whatever I needed to do to bring in the income. And then slowly, as the girls grew up and grew older, I started to think, what am I interested in? What do I really love to do? And I really tapped into what made my heart sing. And what made my heart sing was doing something a bit more feminine. And I've always loved shopping or helping people to shop, but it's not so much the retail side of things. It's just looking at women and what suits them.
Yeah. Fantastic. So when you sort of think about who your typical clients are, can you tell me a little bit about who those women are?
Probably someone a bit like I was quite a few years ago. So I'm in my early 60s now, and quite a few years ago, I did feel a bit lost because I'd spent so many years working, doing the job that I needed to do to bring the income in and what I'd always done, and also raising a family and supporting my husband and starting up his business, that I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. And I also used to dress in clothes that were practical, and working in the legal office, I always used to wear a lot of black, which was okay because I suited black, but we didn't have much money, and I used to make dresses and then go to events or queue and buy a really nice jacket to go over the top. But I would have loved to have someone that I could relate to, that made me feel comfortable, that could help me to feel better about myself on the inside and the outside. So really the type of woman that I love to help are women who are similar to me, you know, about 10 years ago. So that's why my target market really is sort of women in their 40s and 50s.
Yeah. And I think, you know, there's a lot of women out there who can relate to that, you know, where you kind of do what has to be done for a period of time, especially if you've got children and you kind of got to bring the money in. And it can be, you know, you can get to that point where you feel like you have lost a part of yourself. And I certainly felt like that when I went through my illness. And I was just kind of left thinking, well, what now? You know, I love being a mum, but there's something else out there for me too. And I think, you know, it can be a scary place to be. So, you know, having someone like you out there is so valuable for women, because, you know, there are so many of us out there who do struggle to find that thing that makes our hearts sing and to step outside our comfort zone. And obviously with your life coaching background as well, you know, that's obviously you can bring that in as well, and sort of help people build on their confidence and their self-esteem.
Yeah, and I learned so much going through this journey. I learned from my clients, because each client is quite different. I have helped male clients as well, but I found that it's better to sort of niche market and specialize. And with the styling, I prefer to focus on the female clients. The male clients, though, they've sort of been quite varied, and they've been good to work with as well. So I find that I'm learning all the time.
Yeah. And do you sort of see any common themes amongst the women that you work with?
I do find that they put themselves last. A lot of women, they do feel lost. That I've had probably half a dozen of my clients say that to me, that they feel lost. They just don't know where to go from there, and everything sort of is, they feel like they're on a kind of a you know, mouse on the wheel, just keeping doing the same thing every day, day in, day out. And because it's too hard to think about what they feel like and what they would like, they just don't do it. So they've lost touch with their feelings. And the longer you lose touch with your feelings, it's like a muscle. If you stop thinking about how you're feeling and always concentrate on everybody else, how they're feeling, you lose that muscle, you lose that ability to be in touch with how you feel.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see it in our line of work as well, you know, just the woman who, they put themselves at the bottom of the list, everything else comes first. And, you know, when you do that over a period of time, there is a trade-off, and it's usually something to do with their sense of health and well-being. Yeah. So what do you sort of see as your role in the lives of the women that you work with?
My role is really to give them a safe space so that they can, it's almost like holding up a mirror, so that they can see the best parts of themselves that they can't see when they themselves look in the mirror. So it is a process, and I really like to give them a safe space so that they know that they can talk to me, they can express their feelings, and it's just a really great way for them to discover more about themselves. So I'm really helping them to go on a discovery journey about themselves.
Yeah.
And it's almost like the light bulb goes on when they see the colors that suit them, if they're doing color, or the styles, if they're having a style consultation, the styles that suit their body shape. If there are parts of their body, you'd be amazed at the women who can't find anything at all that they like about themselves.
So do you help women not only with the finding the right colors for themselves, but also with dressing for their body shape?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I know. So back in, I think it was 2012, I took my mum and we both went and had our colors done, which was probably one of the best things I've ever done, because I was always a person who wore black and I really liked black. And, I was told your skin tone doesn't really work with black. So I actually got rid of black for a very long time. And I've started to bring it back in because I do really like black, but I'm careful not to wear it too close to my face. But something that we didn't do at that time was learn to dress for our body shape. And that's something that I would really like to do. Because, we've all got such different shapes. And just because you walk into a shop and see something that might look good on someone else, it doesn't mean it's going to work for you. So I think the fact that you do both of those together is pretty valuable.
It is. And it's, you can actually, I sort of see it as art. I see it like being creative, because you can actually change your body shape by changing the focus of where you put the detail. So women who have maybe got, and also women who have got maybe larger legs and a smaller torso, they can wear lighter colors on the bottom and darker colors up the top and things like that.
So lots of little tricks, to sort of trick the eye, I suppose.
Definitely.
So what would you say is the most rewarding part of what you do?
The most rewarding part is seeing the confidence that women have once they've had their colours done, and the feedback that I get, and also the learning that they get from using their colour swatch, and also the communication. So I really like communicating with my clients and them just telling me something that they had discovered that they didn't know before. And several of my clients have been wearing warm colours when they were actually cool, and vice versa. So the warm or cool undertone. And I've had some clients say that for the last 10 years, they've been so frustrated because they keep buying clothes, but they never quite feel right. And it could be that they've had their colours done and they were warmer colours 10 years ago. And maybe they've gone grey, changed their hair colour. And so that has affected whether they have a warm or cool undertone, or whether, and the other part that comes into it is contrast, high and low contrast as well.
Yeah, because warm and cool undertones is not something that most of us sort of know, and I still don't know much about it. I know that I've got I need cool colours, not warm colours, but there's a difference, isn't there, between having is it a pink undertone and a yellow undertone? Is that how it works?
Yeah, blue or yellow. So you can have a blue-based red or a yellow-based red. So the blue-based red has got more of a blue undertone. The yellow-based red looks more like a brick kind of red, and same, so there are warm and cool blues, warm and cool yellows even, and usually a person with warm undertones will suit orange, but someone with a cool undertone won't suit orange. But it's the color system that I use is the absolute color system, and it's there are 18 different color swatches and about 50 colors in each swatch.
Wow.
So it's quite different to the seasonal color system, which is the spring, summer, autumn, winter.
Yeah, and I still bring my color swatch out every now and then. I've got a pretty good idea of what my colors are. This is one of my colors, like a sort of a light blue. But every now and then I'll see something in a shop and I'll go, oh, I wonder if that's on my swatch. And I'm generally pretty good at identifying it, but sometimes I just need to pull out that swatch and have a look. So that was such a good investment for me, was getting my colours done, because it really put me on the right track. And an interesting thing happened, because I used to wear a lot of black. I would often get told that I looked tired.
Exactly.
And then as soon as I started wearing my colours, I didn't get that comment anymore.
Yep. Yeah.
So I know that it makes a huge difference.
It really does. And there are certain ways that you can, if there are colours that you want to wear that aren't in your swatch, you can adapt it so that you can wear those colours by putting some of your signature colours into your outfit, so up closer to your face, or just, or if you're sort of a lower contrast rather than high contrast, you can adapt it so you can put some blending colours in between, just using accessories and things like that.
Yeah. I would say, I would go so far as to say it's quite life-changing getting your colours done.
Yes,
because it is. You know, when you realise that you're actually dressing, you're choosing colours that complement you, that is such a confidence booster. Like, it sounds insignificant, but it's actually massive. And I remember for me, I was like in my early 30s at the time, mid 30s. And I remember the confidence that I developed when I realized that actually I was wearing the right colors to complement my skin and not detract from it.
Yes. Yeah. And the idea is to look harmonious, so that when someone looks at you, or even if you see yourself in the mirror, that it's just pleasing to the eye and looks harmonious. Yes. And there is such power in color, because that's why we all know about color psychology. If a lot of restaurants have red, because red supposedly makes you feel hungry. Yeah. And red can be a power color, but red can also be a bit off-putting if you are in supposedly a nice relaxing atmosphere. So you wouldn't see many hypnotherapists having a lot of red in their clinic, and hospitals have white, because white clinical, that gives the idea of cleanliness. But white can also be cold looking. So there are positives and negatives for all the colors. Yeah.
And I'd recommend for anyone watching this to go on to Moana's Facebook page, Be Styled for Life, because Moana posts, you do like an outfit of the day, don't you?
There's a bit of a story behind that. One of my really good friends, Samiko, she's a photographer, and she said to me, you don't put outfits on that you're wearing. And I realized that I also don't use Instagram enough. So I took up the challenge. So I actually quite like doing challenges, and I took up the challenge and I thought, right, I'm going to do an outfit of the day for all of this month, and then I'll keep it up. I won't do it every day afterwards, but so I've been doing that because of Samiko.
I think it's awesome, and I think you should keep doing it, because well, for me personally, I love seeing what other people wear, and especially when that person knows what they're doing with their colors and their dressing for their body shape and that. And I can definitely see your colors, your favorites coming through. Yes. And they just look so nice on you. So go over and check out Moana's page. It's really, really interesting. What would you say is the most difficult part of your job?
The most difficult part of my job would be tactfully telling someone that they have maybe warm undertone if they're wearing cool clothes, and vice versa. That's not really difficult though. It's more, I did, when I was working in Brisbane, I had a lady from the Gold Coast come up to me, and she was wearing all gold, like gold earrings, gold bangles, and she was definitely cool colouring. Like, she was even cooler than you, definitely cool colouring. And her friend was with her, and I was doing a presentation at a hair salon, and her friend said, but she looks so good in what she's wearing. And I said, yes, she does. But I held up white underneath her chin, and I pointed to her pale blue pants that she was wearing. And I just said, see how good she looks with white and blue. And then I put the silver drape under her chin, and straight away she could see, because that's a tip for anyone who's listening. Gold, warm, silver, cool. So one side of my drape is silver and the other side is gold. So as a rule of thumb, if you suit silver, you're probably cool. If you suit gold, you're probably warm. So, that was more the friend. She was saying, but the woman I did the analysis for, she could see it straight away, and she understood straight away. But she just had a lot of gold jewelry. So she said, I always wear gold because I've got the gold jewelry. Her husband always bought her gold jewelry. But some people can be neutral, they can wear both. So it just depends on the swatch. But there's no really difficult part of my job because I love what I'm doing. And I think if you love what you do, you just enjoy doing it.
Yeah. And you're definitely walking the talk, Moana. I mean, have you just turned 61?
Yes, I just had my 61st birthday.
Unbelievable.
Thank
You'd never
you.
know. And you just present yourself so beautifully.
Oh, thank you.
You know,
well,
you become a role model for other women.
Teddy's Revenge is, I've been through a few challenges this year, and Teddy's Revenge is kind of a metaphor for the challenges that come up and how you can just keep going. And I really do think it's your attitude. Probably if I'd been through those things, you know, quite a few years ago, it wouldn't have been the same. But yeah, I can see the beauty in everyone, and I love doing what I'm doing. And that's the name of my business, Be Styled for Life. So that's why I incorporate the styling and the life coaching.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And you're getting back to the jewellery thing. That's really valuable. I was always a person who wore gold because that's kind of all I knew. I guess that's what I'd grown up seeing my mum wearing. And then when I got my colours done and realised I had a cool undertone, I haven't worn gold jewellery since. I just wear silver. And, you know, I know that it works. And so, I mean, again, getting your colours done is just so valuable. Okay, so women in general, you know, we like to look good and we like to feel good. Can you give us one or two of your best styling tips?
Okay, one really good styling tip is have several go-to outfits in your wardrobe. So outfits that you know you feel good in, that you look good in, and just, you know, most of us are really busy.
Yes.
And I like to give myself a challenge. I actually get dressed in about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And for instance, I'll do an outfit of the day photo today, but I'm wearing, I don't know if you can see it, this skirt.
Yes.
Trying to think where I got. No, I can't even remember where I got this one from actually. But I know that like these are my colours. These are the colours that I really love. And that's one of my go-to. So that's one of the pluses for having your colours done, that your wardrobe always coordinates and you've got clothes that go with other garments. And the other tip, well, apart from getting your colours done and your style done, the best accessory you can wear is a smile. So yeah, I know that when I'm concentrating, if I'm really concentrating on something, my husband says I've got my concentrating face on and I forget to smile. But it really does pay to smile because it makes other people feel good. And even, you know, we go for a walk in the mornings. We just went for a walk on the beach this morning, and it's just nice to see other people and smile at them or say good morning. It makes such a difference to your day and to other people's days as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And just before we hit record on this, we just had a very brief conversation about making sure that your outfit is harmonious. And so the first thing that I noticed when you stood up and showed us your skirt was the how it tied in with your necklace. And it just kind of brings the whole body into sort of a nice sort of symmetry, doesn't it? It just
So I quickly put a necklace on because this t-shirt is actually blue, but it looks black. And I do say to people to avoid wearing black on video. And I just realized, this looks black. So I just popped the necklace on just to sort of brighten it up a little bit.
Yeah. Nice. Okay, so what's one of the biggest mistakes that women can make when they are getting dressed or, you know, styling their outfits?
One mistake sometimes is just wearing too much. I always, you know, I don't like to wear a lot of jewelry and a lot of accessories because I like to sort of be free to move around and in my day. But it would just be to take one last look before you walk out the door and possibly think, have I got three pieces that kind of go together? Because your outfit should really tell a story. So I know that I can be a bit matchy sometimes. I call it matchy. Other people call it coordinated. but it's, yeah, if your outfit can tell a story. So if you're wearing florals, you're not going to probably wear something that's really have a geometrical design in the way of accessories. So for me personally, I feel better if I'm a bit coordinated. There are some people who have got more of a creative personality, and they probably would like to look more uncoordinated. So there really aren't any rules. It's just learning the guidelines and then playing around with those guidelines if you want to. But I find that most of my clients really love to have those guidelines so that they have a base point and they can get creative from there if they want to. So really to have a look at yourself before you walk out the door.
And do you think that individual personality can play into that a little bit as well? So as an example, I really love the kind of the bohemian look, you know, so the loose flowy clothes. I'm sort of, I can be a little bit bohemian myself, but I'm not into the whole layering of the necklaces and the bracelets and the rings. That's not my thing. But sometimes I look at other people who do that and it just works, even though it's almost overkill. But for some reason, their personality can just pull it off. Do you think that that's part of it?
Yeah, definitely. I love the bohemian look too. And like when I went to my birthday, my friend said, "Oh Mo, what are you wearing?" And I said, "Oh, kind of hippie." Well, my kind of hippie anyway. And I know I've had another friend that each time I go into the shop, I try on the hippie stuff or the bohemian stuff, and it just doesn't work for me. So my kind of hippie or bohemian is probably a bit different to, you know, what others is. But there are definitely style personalities and style types. So you might have a classic style personality, and there's someone who likes to have quite simple clothing and likes the pearls and just really simple jewelry, simple watches and things like that. And then you've got someone who's very natural, or, you know, bohemian, just likes all the natural fabrics or, you know, and some people can be a mixture as well.
And do you help people identify their style personalities?
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, actually, on my website, if anyone wants to, they can contact me and I can send them a little style personality quiz that they can do.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
So,
fantastic.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It sort of makes you realize, oh, maybe that's why I feel more comfortable when I'm wearing more natural fabrics, or that's why I feel more comfortable wearing shiny clothes with lots of zips and things, because they could be a rebellious or a dramatic style personality. But it's all to do with lifestyle as well.
And also, you know, paying attention to what makes you feel amazing. Like, you kind of know, don't you, like when you put something on and you're like, not sure, you have to listen to that, because that's your instinct telling you, no, it's not quite right. But, you know, when you put something on that just works, and for me, I know it's like a long flowing skirt and like a little tank top or something, and it's so casual and it's so basic, but I know that it's me, and I just feel like, I could wear this every day. So you kind of have to, but it's a practice, isn't it? You kind of have to experiment and play around with clothes and things like that. But having someone who can help you identify that, I think, is great.
Yeah. Well, I think it's about being aware. And this is why, when I said before about women feeling lost, that's why they feel lost, because they're not aware of how they feel. They've lost that awareness of how they feel. And in my first book, Sass and Stylist, Sass actually stands for self-awareness and self-sufficiency. So self-awareness about how you feel, and self-sufficiency, having the tools within yourself, which is what I do with the life coaching. I don't want my clients to be dependent on me. I want them to know that they've got everything inside themselves that they need. It's just becoming aware of what they want and what they can use. So having their own tools within themselves. Yeah.
We could talk about this all day, Mo.
I know.
I just love this whole thing. I just love it's something that really fascinates me and interests me, and I love talking about all this kind of stuff. What's the one thing that you wish every woman to have?
Confidence in themselves. Yeah, just really confidence in themselves. And I know it does sound like a cliche, but it's so true that if only people in general could realize that everybody's unique and everybody has their own magic. Everybody has their own way of doing things, and there is no right or wrong. It's just, if you are being you, that's the best thing that you can do.
Absolutely. I don't think that there'd be anyone to disagree with that. I think that's ultimately what we all want, isn't it?
I'm really interested in what you do too, so I'll have to get your book. I don't think I've got it yet. Yeah, I have to order it.
Well, I'm very interested in your book too. So maybe we can do a little arrangement there.
Yeah. That's the beauty of the author's lunches. Quite often we all turn up with our books and we do a swap of our books. So
yeah, great.
Yeah.
I'm
looking forward to going to again.
I'm going to ask you some on the spot rapid fire questions. This is sort of the more fun stuff. What's your favorite food?
Mangoes.
Oh yes. Mangoes. I think if I had to survive on one food for the rest of my life, it would be mangoes as well. You mean fresh mangoes, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I'm with you on that one. What's your biggest pet peeve?
My biggest what, sorry?
Pet peeve.
Pet peeve. Oh, people peeving.
People peeving?
Yeah, like people complaining all the time.
Oh, yes. Yeah, fair enough.
It's a bit like people pleasing, but people peeving. Like, people that complain all the time.
Yeah.
I just think if you can think, we've all been like that, I suppose, but if you can think of the positives, it's good to complain. I've got a friend, sorry, I know it's a quick thing.
No, you go for it.
I've got a friend and I, when we catch up, when we're both going through rough times, we used to have a 5-minute dump session when we just complain, and then that was it. No more complaining after that. Yeah.
What a great idea. Yeah. It reminds me of something I heard once about, if you're worried about something, a really good strategy is to pick a time in your day. Give yourself 5 or 10 minutes, worry your heart out, go to town, worry, and then leave it.
Yes. Yeah, that's a really good tip. Yeah, don't pitch a tent and camp out there.
Exactly. Okay, how do you stay healthy?
I drink water as soon as I get up, and I go for walks with my little puppies, which I love, and go to Pilates 3 times a week. And I think about what I'm eating to a certain extent. Yeah,
go check out Moana's puppies. Oh my goodness. Well, one of them's full grown now, isn't it? But the other one's just new. Gorgeous.
She's the one I just put in her playpen because she was tearing at the curtains. She's
so cute.
11 weeks old. Yeah.
How do you handle bad days?
How do I handle bad days? I do something that makes me feel good, like go for a walk, or the best thing I ever do if I'm feeling really, really bad is go for a swim in the ocean if I can get near a beach. Well, I do live near the beach now, but going for a swim makes me feel really good. Are you on the Gold Coast? Yep.
Yeah, so you've got nice weather, nice warm water over there.
Yes, it's good. Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
What's the thing that gets you out of bed in the morning? What's your driving force?
My driving force is I just love what I do. I really love what I do now. There have been quite a few years when I wasn't in a good space and that it was harder to get out of bed, but now I love getting out of bed. I love going to Pilates 3 times a week, and my husband goes as well. It just starts the day off really well, and I don't get sciatica. I used to get quite bad sciatica, and I don't get that anymore when I go to Pilates.
Yeah, fantastic. If you could invite anyone to dinner and they can be alive or dead, who would it be and why?
Oh, Princess Diana.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys would have so much to talk about, wouldn't you, with your style? She was very stylish.
She was very stylish, yeah. It's she just really, I guess because she's sort of she would have been a similar age to me, and she got married about the same time that I got married, or just after. Yeah, so there's a correlation there of her lifeline and my lifetime. She went through some of the things that I went through, and yeah, I just can really identify. I would have loved to have had dinner with her. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, because she died, I think she was only about 36 when she died. So to think that she would be, she'd be 60 probably by now, wouldn't she?
Yep. Yeah, it's like my mum. She's got a real affinity kind of with the Queen, because my mum remembered the Queen and the coronation, and she was sort of a similar age to my mum. I think only a couple of years older. So I think if someone is a similar age and you can identify with them, you kind of feel that connection.
Definitely. What is your guilty pleasure?
Oh, coffee. I like coffee. I've got a few guilty pleasures.
You can name them. You can name them.
I like coffee. I like coffee. I like chocolate. I like the occasional glass of wine. Guilty pleasure. Oh, it used to be shopping, but now I really enjoy shopping with other people and helping other people shop. I've always enjoyed doing that, actually. Guilty pleasure. Apart from that, all the other things I don't feel guilty about. Well, I never feel guilty about those either, because I try and do them in moderation.
Actually, I've got another question for you that I'm just going to throw in here.
Yeah.
How do you feel about capsule wardrobes?
I don't think I could survive.
I did wonder just from seeing your outfits and the creativity you've got. I mean, I'm quite interested in the capsule wardrobe, but I struggle a little bit with that as well.
I think a lot of people it really suits, and you're either kind of a uniform type person or not. One of my jobs before I was a legal secretary, even the whole office decided to wear a uniform, and it was easy. I used to wear this same uniform every day, but it doesn't allow for creativity, and I think that's part of the thing that kind of deadened how I felt inside about clothing and things. No, I really, really enjoy being creative and seeing what goes with what, and I just think it's sort of a journey of discovery when you get dressed, and that's why I like helping other women as well, because I can see what they can't see sometimes. I don't like, my husband and I went to a conference in Florida once, and the lady was there. The minimalist guy was there. He was talking, and there was also a lady who had, I think she had 100 things in her wardrobe that included shoes and accessories. And my husband said, "Mo, you wouldn't survive on that." Because I said, I'd like to do that. And he said, "No, you wouldn't survive."
That's another subject that I'm quite fascinated by. And it becomes a bit of a conflict, doesn't it? Because, I love the whole minimalist concept. And I sort of feel like I'm a little bit of a minimalist myself, but at the same time, I can understand what you're saying about, you still want to be creative and you still want to have options. So there's a little bit of a conflict there for me anyway.
I watched a video. There's a stylist, and she's got a YouTube, I think it's called a small wardrobe or something. She's only got a tiny amount of clothes in her wardrobe. And I admire people like that, but getting dressed is part of my creativity. I really enjoy getting dressed according to how I feel. And I think that's the difference. It's an arty sort of thing.
And do you plan your outfit that morning, or do you do it the night before?
I usually do it when I'm in the shower before, like in the morning. And I did a style challenge that was run by my trainer, and I used to enjoy not looking at the challenge for the day until that day, because I used to like to put myself under that stress. Like she'd say, wear stripes with spots. So then I'd think, oh, okay, today I've got to, and even if I was going out to a networking meeting or something, I'd quickly go through my wardrobe, and it was, I don't know, I just really liked it. I liked to put myself under that kind of challenge.
That's awesome. What's something that not many people know about you?
I once skydived 10,000 feet.
Wow.
Did a tandem skydive over Great Keppel Island.
Gosh. Scary.
Some people might know that, because that's how I answer that question. There are lots of other things as well, but what was that, sorry?
Was it scary?
Yeah, it was. I was really scared when I was going up in the plane because my daughter did it when she was a lot younger. And then an 80-year-old woman did it before me. And I watched her video and I thought, if she can do it, I can do it. This is when I was a lot younger. And we had half an hour lesson and I was just on the edge of the plane and I was really scared. Like, I had a guy attached to the back of me and he tapped me on the shoulder and then he goes like that and I'm supposed to go like that yes, I'm ready. And he tapped me on the shoulder and went like that and I just went like that. And next one I just jumped off. And I think I swore, yeah. But the free fall, the 20-second free fall was the best part. Like, I was almost sorry when he pulled the cord and he said, oh, we'll go through that cloud over there. And just amazing looking down, like you're above the clouds and it's just you and all this open space and you can see the ocean down below and all the clouds underneath you.
Wow.
Amazing.
That's so cool. Do you have a favorite quote that you live by?
Yep, I've got a few, but I like the Dr. Seuss quote. It's truer than true. There's no one alive who's youer than you.
I love that one. So cool.
Yeah. So
and so fitting in your line of work too.
Yes, yeah. So I usually use that quote when I'm doing a talk for women's groups and things like that. Because I believe that if you don't dress as yourself, then you're walking around in fancy dress or you feel like you're at a costume party or something.
Yeah.
It's good to have people that you look up to or mentors or people you like to emulate. You know, a lot of people have movie stars or something or public figures that they really admire, and it's good to have that sort of person to look up to and to base your style on. But to actually be a slave to fashion and follow fashion to the T, I wouldn't like to be like that. I just think it's really important to dress as yourself.
Yeah, great advice.
Yeah.
And do you have any last words of wisdom for our listeners?
Okay. Oh, last words of wisdom. Well, if anyone's going through, I know a lot of people are going through really tough times at the moment, and to really reach out and talk to someone. And I really, it's another quote, but if you're going through hell, keep going, don't stop.
Yeah.
Just to keep going, because things will get better. And even if today seems really bad, tomorrow's another day. Tomorrow is another day. And don't keep things to yourself. If you're feeling shitty, if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling down, then talk to someone and reach out to someone. And if you can sense that someone is feeling like that, talk to them and reach out to them the same. There are so many ways that people can help each other without having to spend a lot of money or sign up to anything. You can just help someone every day.
Yeah.
So that's all a bit mixed up, but it's just how I feel about things at the moment. I know a lot of people are suffering.
Oh, there is so much of it out there at the moment. It's it's pretty hard. It's pretty hard work.
It is. And if you can you're doing a great thing, to tell people, to share with people how to be healthy and how to eat well. And I really must get your book. It's all about sharing what has helped. I think if you can share what has helped you, and that's what you've done, you've gone through some illness and you're sharing what has helped you, and that in turn will help other people.
And ultimately, this is what this group is all about. It's about women sharing their stories and inspiring other women to live their life the way that they want to live it and be the person that they want to be, and build that confidence and build that belief. That's why we're all here in the first place. So that's awesome, Mo. Is there anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
No, just thank you very much. And I just want to say to anybody who's listening to this, be excited about the possibilities. There are always possibilities out there. So just think to yourself, what else is possible?
Yeah, absolutely. And what's the best way for people to connect with you if they want to find out a little bit more about what you do?
I've got a website, bestyleforlife.com.au. So the website or Facebook page, or now I'm starting to use Instagram more, thanks to Samiko. Yeah, so just contact me through any of those means and you'll be able to get a message to me. It's probably the easiest way. That gets straight through to my email if it's on the contact form on my Facebook page. But yeah, if you've got any questions, just let me know. And if you like, I'll give you a link to my quiz so that anyone watching this can contact me as well. And
yeah, that would be great. Perhaps if you send me the link and then I can post it, and I will also post your Facebook page and your website so people can get in touch.
That'd be great. And we're going to do a Take a Moment interview too for my Take a Moment page. So that'll be fun.
Yes, yes, I'm looking forward to that.
I might do the quick 5 questions to you as well.
That'd be awesome. Well, thank you so much, Moana. I've been looking forward to this interview a lot. And yeah, I just think that, you know, what you're doing out there for women is very, very valuable. And it can't be underestimated that when you know, I know it's, you know, a big part of how we feel is about working on the inside. But it can't be underestimated that when you feel good on the outside too, that goes a long way, you know, to boosting your confidence and helping you show up in the world the way that you're destined to, you know. So I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, thank you. Hope you have a great day. And yeah, you're closer to my mum than my mum's in Hamilton, so I talk to mum both.
Yeah.
Yes, I can't wait to come over to New Zealand again.
Oh, I know, and likewise, we're wanting to get over your way too. So one day we will meet in person.
Yes, that will be great. Okay, have a wonderful day.
Yeah, you too, Mo. Thanks a lot. Okay, everyone, we'll see you next time. Bye.